the ACC, we've got Pittsburgh and North Carolina in this next matchup here. We've got North Kakalaki, 3-point home favorites, 64 being the total in this game. Pitt, disappointing out of Pitt. Very, very disappointing out of Pitt last week against Louisville. 24-10 loss. They could not get the offense going at all in that game. Keaton Slovis was terrible. 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, only 158 passing yards. They got some decent production out of the ground game from Israel Abanikanda, the great running back for Pitt. But, outside of that, the offense really struggled in that game. Louisville, give them credit defensively, they were good, but I've not been a big fan of Louisville's defense. So to see Pitt struggle like that offensively, it makes me wonder if they can move the ball against a very bad North Carolina defense, which, we know North Carolina's had their issues defensively all season long. They had one really good defensive game all season, and that came against Virginia Tech, which has a very disappointing offense this year. Terrible quarterback play from Grant Wells, which I've documented many times here on this show. Outside of that, though, they haven't gotten a ton of stops. It is a little bit of a situational edge, though, for North Carolina. They get Pitt at home here off a bye week, significant. And maybe this defense now, for the first time this year, look, they have not stopped a capable offense. Number one, though, I don't know if Pitt's a capable offense or a great offense. They've been inconsistent. They've had some huge games, and then they've had some games where they've been shut down. So I don't know if Pitt's a great, consistent offense. But second of all, the bye week has to do something for Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator here, to try to implement and do some things to help this defense and try to get it to shore it up. And great point by Jacksonville Zoe. Pitt does have problems on the O-line. I mean, they were treating Slovis at the end of that game, especially Louisville, like a human whoopee cushion. All right. They were just absolutely destroying the pocket time and time again, Louisville. So, to me, this is one of those games where it seems like the over is the obvious bet, but off a bye week, can we trust Chizik to get this defense to step it up and maybe finally have a good game? Because they get the bye week, they get the extra time to prepare. And I certainly lean to North Carolina here. As long as you don't lay more than a field goal, I'm leaning toward the Tar Heels here, home off a bye week in this one. What do you think, Connor? Pitt, North Carolina.
Yeah, I always talk about, you see North Carolina laying points, don't take it. But I think 3 here, maybe this is a long time you can, because I think Pitt is struggling.
If they don't play good defense here off a bye week, like get rid of all these defensive players and start from scratch, because it'll never happen if they don't play better here in this spot off a bye. Extra time to prepare.
Yeah. So that's the big thing, because mid-60s off the bye, it's a little scary. I mean, obviously, in North Carolina game, if it gets over, it won't surprise me. But I'm a little cautious in this one. But can Pittsburgh, off 10 points to Louisville? It's just that offense has been kind of hit and miss, like you mentioned. They've been banged up. The defense isn't very good. So tough one here for me. I just lean North Carolina. If it's a 3, not 3.5, I'd look that way. And yeah, I think I might stay off the total. I'm not jumping on the under or anything, but I'll just stay off.
It is strength versus strength, as Zoe says in the chat. Pitt D versus North Carolina offense. But I think North Carolina offense will win that matchup. Pitt D gave up, got shredded by West Virginia, got shredded by Tennessee. There's a couple other games where they gave up, decent amount of points. And nobody's been stopping Drake May and this North Carolina offense. He's been very good.
He's been good.
Really good. And they've been running the football. The O-line's played well. So I think North Carolina can win that matchup. Their O versus the Pitt